In my quest for the perfect camera, many have died. I didn't think we'd even make it this far, and the closest contender so far of everything I've tested, Canon R5 Mark II, you're basically there. I could nitpick some things, and we will do that today. This is what my desired and necessary firmware update is coming through my affiliate links.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
Personally, I wouldn't be caught dead filming myself on the Canon R5II. We're on the C70, of course, with the 24mm 1.4 with a light in the background hidden. Oh, damn it. That was obvious. Oh, that's a new trick. Just have some giant balloon animal behind you and he could help. So I wrote a list of everything I would like to see in a firmware update, a very modest, it's not like, oh, please add 4K 480 frames per second. Like, this is just some things I'd like to see fixed. Some odd menu diving things, buttons that are just like, why is that happening? I honestly don't know that you can do better than this right now. I've parted ways with a lot of things. You have Canon colors, almost Panasonic level stabe, not quite. Really almost Sony level autofocus. There's much to love, but much to hate. So let us show you now the menu systems that I don't understand. If someone like me is pointing out these problems, who are the engineers? That's my question. Okay, let me apologize in advance for this being too cool of a shot. I know we all don't deserve it, but here we are. You've never been more excited to dive into a menu system. So this was going to be a much more painful and scolding video, but I just found some new information that saved my life. So this is how I was switching custom modes. You press a button and then you cycle through. One of you told me that I could map it to this MFN button, and hot damn, that's what I did. You see that switch? It's a one button switch that cycles through the modes. Can you even believe it? That is easier than any mode dial has ever been. The only problem is to get back to like a manual mode, you can't, these will never do it. So you do need another button, and then you can cycle back to manual and aperture priority, the proper mode that everyone should live in. Okay, first thing I would love to see in a firmware. Right now we have zebras on, as you can see, and I cannot turn peaking on at the same time. It's really annoying. At least I can have them both right here so I can quickly turn off zebras and then the peaking I can turn on. Okay, that's not so bad, but ideally, if we can't have them on at the same time, at least let me just turn on the one from here. Right here, like I clearly want to turn peaking on, but you're not letting me. Just turn it on and then turn off the zebras. Who cares? Like, just let me know zebras have been turned off. It would save so much time to just on with the peaking, but I cannot. I realized I was leaning on the table, shaking me your whole life, so I apologize about that. One thing that I'm not used to is peaking not showing up at all, and there's no way to map a button to put manual focus on and allow peaking to show up. Honestly, the Canon R5II autofocus is so good that I might not even have to ever use manual focus, but when I do, I would like to be able to get in there with peaking without having to turn the lens switch on, and that's currently the only way, because you can pause movie autofocus, you can do all these things, none of them turn peaking on with manual focus until you switch it on over to manual, and then it's like, do I have it? Okay, there it is. The Sony X3000 is so beautiful. So just let me turn manual focus on with one button press and then peaking shows up. Or like Nikon, just let me start doing manual focus and that overrides it. And then peaking turns right on. One strange thing I would like to see different, my menu. When I go to configure it, say I want to register some items, this list is not organized in any conceivable way that makes sense. It's not alphabetical. It's just, here, pick every system that we've ever had, any feature. It was such hectic nightmares. I was like, what the hell is that? It took me forever to find the things I wanted. Like, there's so many options and it drives me mad. Whereas other systems let you kind of just go about your day and then like hold a setting and then boom, that will put it into my menu or something. Like, because I know where they are when I'm in the regular menu, but when that drop down list, it's like, no, thank you to that. Also, stop making me exit this on this side. That is really annoying. Just tap, tap, there. Why isn't it that one? Oh God, I know you can turn off that second one, but I'm annoyed already. I think I will turn it off. One thing I would like to see different, for some reason, we can only do 1/8,000th of a shutter. I don't get it. This is obviously not going to show that, and I don't know how to, but when I'm in aperture priority doing wildlife, there's times where it's like 8,000 is not enough and I'm clipping. I know that looks ghetto and I should expose properly, but I never will. So let me do, like most are doing 16, 32, 64,000, like it's not enough, 8, that's ghetto. It'd be really nice if I could map waveforms to a button, but I cannot, and I have to actually add it to here, and you wouldn't think to see it, but it's like, oh, shooting info display, waveform setting. That wasn't it, I tapped bad. Like, I shouldn't have to dive into a menu for that. One thing I would like to see, I think only Panasonic does this. Say I'm in C3 and I change something and I want to resave it. It goes to, okay, register settings. It always reverts back to C1. It should revert to the one I'm in currently, and then I don't mistakenly overwrite a prior one. When it comes to custom buttons, so many of these cannot be remapped. There's a record button up here, can't touch it. And like this MFN button can only do certain things, and then other buttons can't do what that button can do. Why is that button so powerful? Like, I was trying to remap the custom modes to another button, but I couldn't. Only this button can do that. And I was like, I didn't even know it existed for the longest time. But like this delete button, what would that do now anyway? It doesn't do anything unless you're in here. Why can't I map that to something? And these should be pressable buttons. Sony presses it. It's a wheel and a press. What's up with you, man? The biggest slap in the face right now for videographers is switching autofocus point selection. On Sony, you just tap and then it goes into the next one. And Canon can actually do this in photos only. This direct autofocus area selection, that's what does it. But that does not exist in the video side. I was like, oh, cool, I know what that means. So like, I'll do that, and that option's gone. It's not here. And it's like, why? Why wouldn't that be there? So like, the only way to do it, I've actually mapped the control lens. Let's see if I can demonstrate it on here. Yeah, see, so this control ring will do that now. And okay, good enough, I suppose, but I'm used to a button and this ring is annoying. But if you have a feature there for photos, like why wouldn't that be available for video? It's just an autofocus point selection. Now this next one isn't really a complaint. It's more of a like, holy cow, why is that? If you want to shoot 4K 24p, there's 30 different options for codecs. You got 8-bit and then like several 10-bit and some are H.265 and RAW, and within each of these you can choose so many different options. There's the DCI 4K, and then there's regular line skipped 4K, and then there's the Ultra 4K but not DCI, and then within that is all these different options. Sometimes you can use them all, long GOP, intra, different qualities, and it's like, it's overwhelming, but it's interesting that you have so many options. And speaking of options, I wish these were easier to edit codecs. There's just something, I don't know, they're too high quality or something. They're just not ideal. Even your RAW, like I don't get why Canon C70 RAW edits flawlessly. It's perfect. I don't know what the container is, but it's not the same. It's very annoying to edit these files, and it doesn't matter what you pick, if it's RAW light. They are not good codecs. I wish that would be the ultimate firmware. Like, okay, here's proper, easy to edit codecs. I wish we could do 8K 60 in this easy to edit mode, but only up to 30p. Come on, give me 60 in there. Only raw 8K 60, and it's quite chunky. Here's something I would love to see changed. You can rename the files to whatever you want. So I put R5II, so I know if I'm shooting on the R5II, I'll have that. But like, that's a tiny thing at the end. There's too many numbers. Why are there so many of these numbers? I can't even tell which one came first. It's like, where is the number that changes. Is that it before the A? Like, what the hell is that? So it should just be R521, R522, 3. Like, go up like that. I don't get what all this confusing information is. I don't need any of it. So there we have that. Basically the perfect camera. Some quirks, of course. The battery just drains itself. There's a fan in here, I think, that is always on. You can't do anything about it, and it doesn't help with the overheating. But I've never had it actually overheat. There's some things I wish could be different, but for the most part, you done well. The hammer, it's gone. You're gone. What are you doing here? I'm a Canon fanboy now. You won. You won the whole thing. I was like afraid of you. Now I'm only Canon. You win. Go. Just to select the autofocus, the picture menu is actually the one that has the... Oh, I'll be leaving now. R5II affiliate link sales down below. There's no sale. Just buy it. And then donate Bitcoin with the extra savings that you didn't get. Do the math. Do the math, hobo. Look at that light. Subscribe for more videos.